Hi, this is Aaron at ThinkBotLabs.com and welcome back. In this tutorial we're going to set up our acid pits. With the acid pits we want the acid to be just a little buoyant so that our player will slightly sink into the pit. But we also want them to have the option to get back out before drowning in it. We also want the acid to affect the player's health, so we'll have to update the player health script as well. So the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and select all of the acid sprites, and let's add the Buoyancy Effector 2D. So the only thing that we need to adjust here is the density. The higher the density, the more bouncy the collider is, and the lower the density, the more the player will sink into it. So let's set the density at 0.04. And now you see at the bottom of the buoyancy effector that we have a warning message. The effector will not function until there is at least one enabled 2D collider. So let's go ahead and add a 2D collider. We're going to use a box collider 2D. And we need to check use by effector and the trigger. So on these first top two acid sprites, we need to bring down the box collider ever so slightly, because we don't want the player to stand on the top of this line. We want them to actually go down. So let's set the offset at a negative value and bring it just at the top of the sprite. So let's go ahead and play that and see how it looks. Cool. So you can see he's slowly sinking into it, and we do give them the option to jump back out of it. Alright, let's go ahead and stop that. So the next thing we need to do is add damage to the player when he interacts with the acid. So let's go back into our scripts and open up the player health. So we already have the onTriggerStay function, so let's add a new line for an acid object. So we'll say if the collider gameObject.tag is equal to acid, then we'll just repeat the health bar dot value is equal to, or is minus equal to, and let's set this at 1 for now, and current health is equal to health bar dot value. And so now we need to create an acid tag. So let's save this and go back to our acid, add a new tag, call it acid, and we'll select all 4 of our acid sprites and tag them with acid. That should be all that we need to do. Let's go ahead and play that. Oh, and that went down really fast. So let's go ahead and go back to our slider, and we're going to change this from whole numbers. We're going to take that off, and let's go back into our script and change these values. So let's change the health bar value for the acid to let's say 0.5, and have a look at that. Okay, much better. Let's reduce that a little bit more. Let's put that at 0.2. Because if we reduce the health too quickly, then they won't be able to traverse the scene at all. They'll just die on the first encounter. Okay, good. But you do see that the health bar text is now full of all of the float values. So let's go back and we'll update the string right here. And let's just say that N0. And what this is going to do is we're going to string the float value, but we're not going to put any decimals behind it. Okay? Save that. Let's go back. I'll play it. That saw is still pretty hard. That's fine though. Alright, so that's a super short tutorial on Buoyancy Effector 2D and how to set up your acid pits. And that'll be it. Till the next one, see ya.